Good evening. Y'all come on in. Let's talk about it. We've been talking about these different eras, different decades, and what happened in these decades and what really went on. So tonight we're going to continue with it. Come on in. If I'm talking a little funny, I went to the dentist today, and you know how they scrape and scrub and do all that good stuff. So I'm holding my mouth a little funny. It's not really sore, it just feels funny. But I got my teeth cleaned today, and they checked them, did all the x-rays and everything to make sure that nothing was wrong. And I had a little gingivitis on one tooth over here and one at the bottom. So they cleaned it all up and put the fluoride treatment on there. I was going to get them whitened, and they told me that it wouldn't do any good because I drink too much tea, coffee, wine, dark wine, and all that good stuff. So I decided, okay, I just live with it. It is what it is. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Hey, everybody coming in. Good evening. Hey, sunshine. How you doing? Miss Misty's in the building tonight. You didn't say I'm here. Okay. Thomas is here too. Hey, Thomas. Miss Millie. You took the auntie off? Okay. Evening, Miss V. Looking lovely. How's it shaking today? What's everyone having for dinner? I don't know. I'm thinking about going over to the Chinese place and getting Chinese food tonight when I get off the live. I think that's what I'm going to do. I really want crawfish. That's what I really want. But I eat them in the day. I don't dare eat food with them at night. Mm-mm. It is crawfish season now, so it should be plenty of them. Misty say 80% of rain tomorrow in Houston, Texas. It's been looking like rain all day today in my area, Misty, but we didn't get any rain. I had a dentist appointment at 10:30 this morning, and then I had a little break in there, and I went down and looked for me some crosses today because I want to start my cross collection. So I found a few, and I got those put up. Now I can see how many I need, and I got to fill in. Let me show you what I got today. And then we'll start on our commentary. Tonight is the 70s. We've been through the 50s and the 60s. And so tonight we're going to talk about the 70s. Hold on, let me get some light turned on up in here and turn y'all around. Now, two of them were sent by a subscriber, and I found the silver ones today. Let me flip you around. So they're not exactly in an order. I just kind of put them up here, and I'm just going to fill in the rest of them as I find them. But I done started my cross collection. There it is. Turn some more light on. There we go. The green one up there was sent by a subscriber, and that one was sent by a subscriber. Anytime I say something, I always get a gift, and I do appreciate it. And whenever they come in and they tell me it's okay, I'll put the rest up. But as you can see, I'm going to have the whole thing filled up. And I got lots on this side I got to put on this side. But as I see them and I find them, I'll put them up there. So that's the cross collection. I mentioned that. I don't even think I mentioned anything about an elephant. And one of my girlfriends came over with, not an elephant. I talked about the elephant. I haven't gone to pick them up. But I had these two owls sitting up here. And they've been sitting up here. I think I got them around Thanksgiving. And look what came today. She came over with owls. Now, this is going to be the end of the owl collection. I don't have room for all this stuff, okay? And the beginning of the elephant collection is a cookie jar. But let me show you the other, where's another one? Oh, here's the other one she sent me. Yeah, so I put him up there. And let me see. I put the other one in the, oh, he over here. I stuck him in the flower pot. There he is. Yeah, and there's Gator. Okay, so let me turn it around here. So that's been my work today, the man had to come hang the big cross up because it fell down the other day. When I came in, it was down. So he had to go drill a hole in the top of the cross to put it up there because it wasn't holding from the back with nothing. It's too heavy. So I got it up there now real good. See where he drilled a hole? You might can't see it, but he drilled a hole in the top up there. Yep, so I have love, faith, and hope, and that one, and that one, and these two. And as like I said, as I see them, I will fill in as I go. Yeah. Okay. Turn it around. Okay. So that's that. So we've talked about, let me hook y'all back up so I don't have to hold this phone. There we go. Okay. So we've talked about the 50s. Hello to everybody coming in. That was the baby boomer era. I was born in that era. It was good times. The first barbecues were in the 50s, backyard barbecues. Everybody had started building their homes. They were owning cars. And the 50 decade was a great time. Things kind of changed in the 60s because people woke up and realized they still didn't have equal rights. So we had a lot of assassinations, people fighting for equal rights. We talked about all of the assassinations last night, and it was not, the clothing was not too different. It changed somewhat to the tighter clothing, tighter fitting shirts and tighter fitting pants, which clothing just cycles over and over and over. It's the double breast, it's the single breast. You know, it's the short dress, it's the long dress. It's much like hairstyles. It doesn't change too much. It recycles itself, and they just take away something and add something else. Hey, Ree's Connection. Good evening to you. Actually, Miss V, your teeth look whiter today, do they? Maybe it's the cleaning, because they were stained up real bad. They look gold on the x-ray, but she took her time. It was about an hour and a half of cleaning because I had missed my last two appointments. I try to go every 6 months, and I missed a whole year. But she didn't find any cavities, thank God. And she said they look good. Okay. Thank you, Auntie. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Physical therapy tomorrow. So that's all I have going on tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Okay. Sunshine, did I speak to you? Okay. You love crawfish too? I do too. And I don't eat them out of season, even though they sell them all year long here. Most of the Chinese places sell them all year long, but they don't season them well. They just kind of boil them and throw them in there. Put some butter on them. No, that ain't right. They need to put the seasoning in the water and all of that. And put the potatoes and the corn and whatever else you're going to add to it. The shrimp, the neck bones, whatever you're going to put in there. Put it all in there together and let this stuff boil. Thomas says, Ms.V from last night was prayer take out of school in the 60s. You are right. And I did not mention that, Thomas. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Thomas is reminding me that prayers was taken out of school and it's been turmoil in the school ever since. They took Jesus out of the building. And up until then, life was good. Long as he was in the classroom, we didn't have no shootings and all of that. We had little minor fights on the playground. You got your ass tore up and you didn't do it no more. Thank you, Thomas, for reminding me of that. Hello, Marissa. How you doing? And Jackie Johnson is in the building. Thank you, Mrs. Congratulating me on my 5K. I'll take it today because I looked before I came on and I'm 33 over. So, yes, we'll have the giveaway on, what's today? Wednesday. We'll go through the 70s tonight. We'll go through the 80s tomorrow, which is Thursday. We'll go through the 90s Friday, and we'll do the giveaway on Saturday. I kind of wanted to do it for members only because I don't think it's just fair to have everybody in the chat to be able to win and the members are paying to be members. So I'm kind of looking like I want to do it for members only. So y'all got a chance to become a member. It's only $2, the cheapest one, if you want to get in the giveaway. There it is. Okay? It's a radar detector. So if you want to get in there and it's worth $2 to you to be in the drawing, then become a member, okay? Because I've always opened it up from 1K, 2K, 3, 4, and up to now to just anybody who was in the chat who had subscribed over here. Now, if you haven't subscribed over here, you can't win either. And I know the people who have subscribed. I can look in my studio and see that. I can look in the studio and see who are members. So you got a couple of days to make up your mind. Hey, Carla, how you doing? Thank you for the roses. Good evening, Valencia. Ms.V, I'm listening. Can't wait to get off you at work. I'm really tired. My job is very stressful, but I'm here. Okay, well, hopefully we won't stress you out. We don't try to stress. We try to get people relaxed and laid back. Get your wine. I got my wine tonight, staining up my teeth again. Uh-huh. Yes, 5K so well deserved. Thank you, Rhea. I appreciate that. And like I said, anybody who supports this channel and has a channel of their own, you're always welcome to drop your chat into the live. Okay. I've been like that ever since I've been out here. Most of the people who I've supported out here don't even come over here. And that's just as well. I trust me, I'm not upset about it. I am enjoying the chat I have built over here at the present time. And my moderators. Haven't seen any of them yet, but they coming. Okay. Um, Hey to Miss Aretha. She's in the building tonight. Jackie Johnson says, beautiful. Thank you, Jackie. You're talking about the crosses. Yeah. I want to find some kind of unusual and different to kind of put up there too. I started to wait until I had collected them all, but I didn't know how many it was going to take. So I said, well, I'm just going to put them up there. If I have to rearrange them as I get them, then that's what I'll do. Hello, everyone. Ms.V, I made another live. I see. Just got done cooking fried chicken, macaroni, cheese, and green beans. Sounds good. I eat all of that. Probably don't need the mac and cheese, but and it's not a favorite, but I do eat it. Okay, if it looks good, I'll try it, but I don't eat that much of it. I've never been a real big fan on mac and cheese. Um, I love the decorations in the kitchen. Oh, thank you. You've never been in my kitchen before? I used to do lives from the kitchen sometimes. They came in today, and I think I still got some dishes in the sink that I haven't washed yet from my lunch. So um, that's why I didn't go live in there today. Yeah. And then I'm in the bedroom because I got some things I want to show y'all when we get to clothing from the 60s era. So I had them laid out on the bed. So that's why I'm in the bedroom. But everybody likes this picture so well. That's why I normally come live in here, because I used to have the picture in the living room when I first moved over here. Then I changed the living room out and I took it out, and then I wasn't going to put it back up. And then everybody was hollering about, Miss V, where's the picture? We love that picture. So I put it on this wall in the bedroom, on the side wall. So I have a chair over here, and I have my TV tray in front of me. So I got everything hooked up over here. So I just normally come in here, sit down, and this is my little desk. Everything's got to be small in here because, as you see, I done filled it up with so much stuff. Oh God, that's what I forgot to tell the maintenance man. My dresser came off the track, my dresser drawer. I got to get him back up here. He came up here today and he hung the cross for me. He drilled a hole in it and he hung the cross for me. And what else did he do? My faucet sprayer was just spraying, but it wouldn't do just a regular flow of water. And he came and put a new one up there for me. Okay. You love the penthouse? Thank you. It's just me. I just feel so much at home in here because of the collection of stuff I had. I got to wait on Knock Tiger to come in too, because I had him hang one of these plaques up today and I don't have the other one hung because I thought it was too high, that it need to be brought down some. So let me show y'all this before we get into the 70s and see what y'all think. Y'all know I always ask you for y'all's opinions. Hold on, let me flip it around. Okay, so I don't have it on this side yet. He put it on this side, and I have two of them. Y'all don't think that's too high? And the reason why he said he did it, let me back off. Maybe you can see it better. Okay, that's the way it looks. I thought it should be brought down some, but if you look on this side, the Chester is there. And he said if he brought it down, it would have to be about right here, the bottom of it. You can't see right there. So is that all right to leave that up there like that? It's right at the baseboard of the window, which I think he was just trying to get where he didn't have to measure and everything. But I just thought it should come down just a little. Then he said, no, it's going to be in the way of the curio. And the focus should be on the curio with the eggs in it. That's my egg collection. So what y'all think? Let me back all the way out. See if you can see the whole window. Okay. You see it? Okay. What y'all think? Y'all done seen the surprise. I got all these purses from the 70s era and the 60s on the bed. I was going to show y'all. Hey, Candy, how y'all doing? Y'all will tell me down further if y'all what y'all think about that. I have two. They're just alike, but the colors are arranged different. It's like a dark brown and a green and a burgundy. Okay. I think, oh, no, it's not. Misty saying, love from Houston, Texas. Hey, homie. Okay. Let's see. Where else? Who else? Peyton Carr. Hello, how are you doing? And welcome to Chatting with Ms.V tonight. Let's see. Who else did I miss? Oh, Auntie in here. I do have a moderator. Okay, good. Hello to everyone I missed. It's not intentional. That's Ray's Blissful Connection. She also has a channel, which I got to get over there and see what you're talking about because I haven't. You are welcome, Ms. V. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate that. Good point highlighted, Thomas. Yes, it is because I didn't remember that, nor did I see anything when I was researching about it. Of course not. Thank you, Jackie. She's congratulating me on the 5K. And I am Michelle for Life is in the building. Someone gifted me a membership last week, but it didn't show up yet. I'm still here though. Okay, Carla. I don't know why it didn't show up. I got a membership gifted on Laken's. What is her channel name? Laken something, which I go over there and I watch her every now and then. And I don't know who gifted me over there. And I don't get over there that often. So I need to go over there to at least tell the people thank you. Congratulations, Carla, on your gifted membership. Okay. I am Michelle for Life is congratulating me. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to always be a sugar wooger. You've been here for a long time, Carla. We go way, way, way back. And you know I appreciate Carla was my little comedian. She don't tell the jokes like she used to. I guess our subject matter is more serious now than it was because I was doing a lot of skits and stuff when I first came on. Let's see. There you are, Noptag. I guess you saw the plaque up on the wall that I put up today, but I only put one up because I thought it was too high. Hello, where the piece that came off your birthday card. It's over there on the bed. You was putting in your room. I did. I put it over there on the bed. Uh-oh. I hit the wrong button. I got it over there. I just got it on the head post of the bed. I hadn't decided where I really wanted to put it, so I just stuck it up there for the meantime. But I'm thinking about once I get the other glass shelf in the curio and get the glass door back up there, putting it on a inside of a frame and putting it in the curio cabinet. That's what I think I'm gonna do with it. It's okay to be that high. Okay, well, I get the other one and put it up tomorrow. And then the windows will be finished, and I ain't no more room in here. It's done. Okay. Did you see my cross collection, not Tiger? If you bring it down too much, it will not look well against the furniture. Thank you, Reyes. I appreciate that. Um, it's nice. Okay. Kick a kick a baka, Fred. He right. Okay. Yeah, he is right about the prayer. And I thank him for that. Anything I miss, you can always chime in. Because I don't know everything, and sometimes I miss something. Hey Queen, what's up to Gisty? Hey Sting. Okay, I think I've spoken to everybody now. So I did a recap on the 50s and the 60s. So tonight, let's dive into whoops. Oh Lord, I done knocked the whole thing down. Hold on, hold your horses, y'all. Ooh, wait. Hold up. Maybe I should just take this out. I need to buy some more stands. These stands have gone. They been moved around too much for the last year. In the car, out the car. Because I did a lot of lives outside last summer. So I'm gonna have to buy some more. But anyway, let's get into the 70s here. Let me get some glasses so I can see. Y'all know I'm half blind. And they might be clean. I don't know. I haven't had them on since last night. Yeah, they still clean. So anyway, the 70s decade was perhaps the worst decade for industrialism in our country. The economic performance, the worst economic performance since the Great Depression. So kind of compare as we talking about it, how it changed from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s. President Nixon was in office. We all know what happened with that. He resigned due to the Watergate scandal in 1974. So we had just got into the 70s with him in office, and then all of a sudden this all breaks out and it changes the course of history. The United States was still involved in the Vietnam War in the early decades. The New York Times leaked the information regarding the nation's involvement in the war. Political involvement and pressure led to America's withdrawal from the war in 1973 and the fall of Saigon in 1975, leading to the evacuations of the South Vietnamese that same year. That would have been 1973. We also had an oil crisis. You remember they were fighting over oil during that time. And that caused a financial crisis. Let's see what y'all are saying. Hey, Keisha. Let's see. Yeah, my year, 1973. So that's the year you were born, Keisha. So you were a little girl, so you probably gonna know more about tomorrow night than tonight's subject, which is the 70s. Okay. So now the president has resigned due to the Watergate scandal. Everybody that was involved went to jail. And then we had the 1973 oil crisis, which put us in financial crisis again. Okay, so that's pretty much summing up what happened politically. Okay, so let's just kind of move on from there. Things just wasn't looking good at all. We've had good times to changing times to a pivotal change in the 70s. The 1970s was definitely a pivotal year of change in history, focusing especially on the economic upheavals that followed the end of the post-war economic boom. On a global scale, it was characterized by frequent coups, domestic conflicts, and civil wars, and various political upheavals and armed conflicts which arose from and were related to the colonization and the global struggle between NATO, the Warsaw Pact, and the non-aligned movement. So it was much of a political era, as you can see. What happened with Thomas? Hold on. My uncle was killed in a car accident. Oh, in 1974 at the age of 18. See, it's things like that you'll never forget. That's etched in your mind. Sorry to hear that, Thomas. Sounds like y'all were pretty close. Um, Many regions had periods of high intensity conflict, notably Southeast Asia, the Middle East, Latin America, and Africa. The 1970s was an era of great technological and scientific advances, though. So at least something was accomplished in that era. Since the appearance of the first commercial microprocessor, that's what it was called. It really is a computer now, but they were called a microprocessor when they first started off. The Intel 4004 in 1971 was a rudimentary computer. And that's the one we had when I first started at Amoco in 1978 and 1979. They came with this big old clunky computer that did much of nothing but send our results over to the unit. It wasn't until the 80s that we got computers much like we have now, but they still didn't have a lot of apps. None of that was on there. We could go on there, we could check our stock, we could buy and sell our stock, we could send results over, and we could email. And that's basically it in the early 80s. Okay. Let me see. Where was I? The rudimentary computer had come into play with portability and home accessibility. There were great advances in physics. So at least we accomplished a little bit of something through all these hard times. In the 1975, there came the Standard Model, which was a consolidation of a quantum field theory and the end of the decade. Due to the quirks and detection of the gauge, the photo, the Z bosom, y'all probably don't know anything about this because we talking physics now, and it's kind of over my head. But these are the things that were accomplished, okay? Became the Standard Model. They probably didn't mean anything to you unless you were around at that time or you into the sciences. So we're going to skip on down. Getting to some lighter times in the 70s, the 1970s were famous for bell bottoms. Now we can talk. And the rise of disco. But more importantly, was also an era of economic struggle. And I keep emphasizing this because we've gone from good times to all right times to an economic struggle. We're faced with some rough times now, 20 years later, because we started with the 50s. So that was struggle times, cultural change, and technological innovation. 15 top trends of clothing, accessories, and shoes came about in the 1970s. So this is where I'm sure some of y'all will be able to jump in. Okay, the bell bottoms. How many of you had the bell bottoms back in the 70s? I wore bell bottoms. I love the bell bottoms. Yep. They were the clothing mullet before the mullet was really, really a thing. Platform shoes, guys. Look at again those Saturday morning shows with Don Cornelius, Soul Train, and all those shows. All those people in that era too were short people. They didn't grow as tall as the people in the generations before. And that's why I guess they invented those platform shoes. Because y'all remember when I told y'all about James Brown? James Brown was a short little man. Remember, I'm 5'5". He was a foot taller than me. He was 5'6", but with those platform shoes on, he probably looked like he was probably 5'8" or 5'9". Yeah. The short people remember that. And you would be around. Yeah. Because this is the 70 eras. The dye was in the flyer. The tie-dye. Everything was tie-dyed back then. And we learned how to tie-dye our jeans, put some Clorox, well, first time up, and then just put them in the washing machine with Clorox, and you came out with all kind of tie-dye. If you bought a colored shirt, a shirt with different colors in it, we learned how to put rubber bands on it and all kind of stuff, and put the Clorox on there, let it dry. And I'm sure the Clorox helped to eat it up faster, because we weren't doing it by the right process, but we did it at home like that. The feathered ha. That was the hairstyles. Tina Turner and Elizabeth Taylor were the first ones to come out with that kind of feathered look hairstyle. The platform shoes were the 90s also. They just come right back. That's what I'm saying. Fashions just keep repeating themselves. The clothing designers can only do so much. Let me go back. I remember when the police pulled my mom and dad over because he was driving a Mark IV going through Louisiana. That was a pretty car back then, too. Yes, it was. Okay. Oh, you wore them every day, Steve? Okay. Let's see. I think I caught up. Let's keep going. The dice on the rearview mirror. I don't think I remember that, Thomas. Y'all remember the dice on the rearview mirror? We were so far out in the country, they probably didn't do that. They were shooting the dice. Okay. The corduroy pants was first came out in the 70s. And it was like the thick kind of corduroy. Yep. And it goes out and it comes back in. Back out blouses, and remember when snow time out. Okay. Hey, Irene King, how you doing? Yes, ma'am. Love me some bell bottoms. Okay. And Jackie remembers that too. Circular sunglasses. I think I got some circular ones because I told you, I'm loving these eras. I got a lot of them. The big glasses like Jackie O were in, because she was in the White House in the 60s, and it kind of went over into the 70s. Yeah. And I stick with that style. I love the big ones. I wish they would make these readers in different styles too, but most of them like this, they just square. Military and safari jackets. Big trending item in the 70s. They're coming home from war, remember? The Vietnam War. So, yes, them Jackie O's, yep. Halter tops and shorts. Them Daisy Dukes was in Petticoat Junction. That girl on that show. Uncle Black Panthers, January 17th, 1969. Okay, now, Tiger. That's right at the end, beginning the 70s. Why the dice on the rearview mirror, says to just yeah, Thomas, tell us about it, because I don't know nothing about that. Hop in. Tell us all about it. The ethnic folklore look was in. This look was bright prints and patterns, Native American features, European folk dresses, ponchos, embroidered patterns. Then there was something called the underground punk. I don't know nothing about this either. They said it was black leather jackets, hair that don't care, and studs all became a trend for the punk enthusiasts. So much so that the fashion started to spill over into popular culture in the mid to late 70s. Now I remember Fonzie and all them came on TV with those black leather jackets on. Yeah. Hey, Patricia Mills. It was just a style back then. Yeah. Tajis is in Canada, so their style of clothing and everything is probably way different. Okay. Jackie Johnson said that's how my mother met my father during the war. A lot of people met up because the soldiers had money when they were coming home. And my aunts used to tell me those soldiers, sailors and stuff that came into Galveston, the women would be down like crazy, waiting on them to get off those ships and boats and stuff. Punk rock look. Yeah, Carla. Hot pants. Talk about risque for the times. Hot pants were hot and sizzling. Remember Petticoat Junction? I think she was the first one I saw on TV with the hot pants on. And then that girl on Dukes of Hazzard, I think she wore hot pants too. But it caught on. Yep, they showing skin now. They're coming out of these old-fashioned dresses and dressing up, and the style of clothing is really changing as we're moving on. They were the center of suicidal debates. The society was not ready for that. Don't forget the jelly sandals. Somebody came in here the other night and said they got their feet burned with the jelly sandals. Was it you, Sandra? Almost all women wore them because the 70s women were more, I guess, revealing. They showed more the tank tops, so they had the stomach out, and they had the Daisy Dukes on, cutting up to the booty hole. Daisy Dukes, okay, from the Dukes of Hazzard, the first one with hot pants. That's what I thought, Sting. Okay. Jackie Johnson say short shorts. I remember the commercials. I wore them. I wore the Daisy Dukes. Uh-huh. I had almost one of everything in every era because I had the go-go boots. I had the Daisy Dukes. Now I don't remember having the Fonzie jacket because that's what we called them. The black jackets, and most of the time they had the belts around them. And when they did their TV shows, they did them in these jackets. Elvis wore a lot of them when he was performing on stage. The Beatles came out in them because those were the singers that were big. Black people were not, they were just coming into the TV era where the Ed Sullivan Show was starting to introduce Stevie Wonder as a little boy. He had James Brown on there, and he started introducing black entertainers on his show. And that's the first time I saw black entertainers on the Ed Sullivan Show. Color block clothing, yep, and it comes and goes. It was back in, I believe it was the 80s, and then it came in for a minute in the 90s. Don't see too much of it right now. The rabbit coats, they shed all over everywhere. I had one of those too. Yeah, I was in college when I had that coat, and that coat used to work my nerves. It was pretty, but it just shed, and it wasn't nothing you could do about it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Something called the chevron, which was patterns that come and go, and some will always be looking at it like flannel. I don't remember no chevron. Wait until summertime, you will see more Daisy Duke shorts. Uh-huh. They have never left. But the only thing back then, and I'm not trying to cut nobody down who's a kind of large woman or whatever, but the women back there, they were smaller women, and they really had bodies. They worked on their bodies back then, where the women after the 70s kind of let themselves go, especially in our race. The other ones do it too now, but it really didn't start. I didn't see a change until when the 80s started coming in. Up until then, every now and then you would see a very extremely large lady, but that era women was kind of small, all across TV and everywhere. Every time you look, they'll make you want to get up and have a body like them. That's why they call Daisy Dukes. Okay, Sting. Just what you laughing at? Large floppy collars. Men and women in the 70s were big proponents of tight-fitting shirts with large collars. Y'all remember the collars was real tiny, and then all of a sudden it looked like a lapel up there. The ties changed. They go from skinny to big ties. They go from long ties to short ties for the men. Okay? The polka shell and the love beads. These are accessories for men and women, had a fair share of jewelry. It was clunky, it was heavy, and they wore a lot of jewelry in the 70s. Rings on every finger. The gold chains had come in, and everybody was wearing gold. The gold teeth started back in the 70s. A mouthful of crowns and all of that. Sandra said the moccasin shoes and the moccasin purse. Yes. Hey, Nerd Gamer, greetings to you. People talked on the CB a lot in the 70s. Yes, Thomas, sure did. My brother had one of those in his car, the middle brother. And I told y'all we had Wildcats. It was 1968 that they bought those Wildcats because the mother and the brother had Wildcat Buicks, and the mother's was white top with a blue bottom. They had two-tone cars back then. The tops and the bottoms didn't necessarily match. And then the brother had a gold two-door with a half vinyl top. So vinyl tops were big in the 70s. Then they started coming out with the spokes. That started in the late 70s. And they got real ridiculous with them spokes. Shoulder pads were in big time. Yes, thing. And you look like your shoulders would be just real broad. Jean skirts. Yeah. Y'all remember the 70s. Okay. Yep, the 1970s sure had quite a range of unique fashions. They actually made fashion statements so unique that nothing could ever top them even today. Hey, Pierre, the baby doll dress. Y'all remember the 70s? So a lot of y'all must have been born. Hello, Kiara. I guess I pronounced that right. Good evening and welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. We over here chatting about the 70s tonight. So now we just got through talking about the political era and we went into the clothing. And y'all are bringing out a lot of clothing here that I didn't even have written down. Hey, Deborah Silver. Y'all come on in. Jump in the conversation. So yes, thing, I had a lot of clothes with shoulder pads in them. Yep. And the knit dresses were big in the 70s. Polyester. Everything. We had gotten away from all that ironing. Y'all remember that? Yep. So a little recap is the bell bottoms, frayed jeans. Nobody didn't remember wearing the frayed jeans? I even learned how to do them. Pulling the thread. Catch me a little spot, break it, and then just pull the thread until I got ready to stop it. And then once you got it started, you could throw it in a washing machine and it'll fray on up until you wanted it to stop. You better get on the machine and sew around there because you'll end up with a whole leg of frayed pants. Okay. Kiara speaking to everyone. The baby doll that walked. Exactly. I had a chatty Cathy back then. She talked, pulled a string on the back of her, and she said a few words. They had a box inside of her, and somebody had recorded a couple of sentences in there. And then I had the big, tall baby dolls that would walk. The first black baby doll I had was the end. Was it the end of the? No, that would have been the 60s. The end of the 60s. Yeah. Nissan patches on our jeans. Ironing them on. And then my brothers had these, I don't know what you call them, like leg irons. They would iron their jeans stiff. They wanted stiff jeans back then. And they had these iron bars that they put in there for the creases. And they would put them on there and let them sit overnight. Baby, them creases wouldn't wash out. Once they were in there, they were in there. And all they had to do the next time was get them out the dryer and hang them up because the creases would stay in there. Or either they would want mama to take them to the laundry and put heavy starch in them. And those pants would not move. It was like you were walking like this, no bend whatsoever. Platform shoes, yeah, we mentioned those. I meant patches all blue jeans. Patches on the blue jeans, yep. Okay. Mrs. want everybody to subscribe to the friendly channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. And ring that bell up in that right-hand corner, which is the like button. Or either down at the bottom, there's a heart. Either one, I'd appreciate it. That keeps me in the algorithms. Tie-dye shirts, we had mentioned that also, not Tiger. Let's see. Jackie Johnson is laughing and she's saying, yes, indeed. We're bringing back memories. We were going to get to this thing, the afro, big time. You'll see all the men and a lot of women. What was the lady's name? H. Ralph Brown. I can remember him with the great big one. She went to jail. Angela, what's her first name? Very pretty lady, but she had a beautiful, big, round afro. Somebody will remember it. Okay, the 70s fashion seemed to have the most influence to the 20th century. Pretty much because it was an era where the war was over. The vets were coming home. So marijuana came on the scene big time. Everybody was pot loving and smoking and just out. It was like they had their freedom. They came back home now and um, everybody just getting high and just enjoying life, even through the economic crisis that was going on, through the president being kicked out of office and all that. It didn't really phase us. We're young. You know, I was in college at the time, so a lot of things that happened, like with just lay people out enjoying their life, my life was different. I told you, I have had a different life. So I couldn't really enjoy going out in the park, with the kids, because I'm off in college trying to make some grades and trying to get an education and stuff. And that took 5 years of my life. So I started in 72. And 5 years later, I got 2 degrees, but that was 5 years of my life. I don't know too much about, what was going on unless I come home on the weekend and I go out in the park and I see my friends from back home. Because a lot of them didn't go to college. They stayed behind and they just got local jobs and stuff like that. And then the ones that did go to college, we didn't go to the same college. A lot of my friends went up north. Some went to the East Coast. I stayed in the South and went to college. Okay. Treehouse by Martell. Now, Tiger, you know about these 70s, baby. Pants stood up by themselves. Yes, they did, baby. You know her, Carla. We used to play with paper dolls. Yes, I forgot about that. Uh-huh. And dress them all up. Blonde hair had come in. Yes, it did. Because I started, I think my sophomore year was when I actually put the first color in my hair. Came home and my mama almost had a fit. And it's been going different colors ever since. Okay. Go ahead, Keisha. You love paper dolls, Carla? I like the real dolls because I like fooling with the hair. The paper dolls didn't have no hair. And that might have been the beginning of me becoming a beautician and didn't even recognize it because I was forever cutting it. I go in there, I get my daddy's clippers after I done messed it up so much, I shave it down. Yeah, all the way. Leave us some hair on the top. Next day I wake up, I get this side and I leave this side. Next day I get this side, and before you know it, Mama, I need another baby doll. All my baby dolls hair go because I just shaved it all off. And then I would go get the razor that he shaved with, and I clean her down to the nothing. Yeah, I was doing it. Hey, Sting is saying that's why they call them permanent creases. They were, baby. Afro needs to come back to style. They've been trying for almost 2 decades, the 90s and the 2000s. But you got to remember, we got a lot of mixed kids now, and that hair want Afro. Like my little nephew you saw in the car the other day, he's wearing the braids, and it's even hard to braid his hair because it's so soft and so straight. But somehow the lady gets it braided and then he keeps it shaved. Y'all saw he shaved all the bottom down. And he just gets the top braided because when they was braiding the whole head, baby, he was crying and going on. But his hair is very, very long now. It's down his back. He had it all pinned up in a ball back there, but his hair is very, very long. And he's never had a haircut other than the sides. This at the top has never been cut. And he never wears it down, so I don't know what the point is. I guess for the braids. But they have to add hair in there when he first started off. But now his hair is thickened up some where, they can braid his hair without adding hair. Afro needs to come back. Okay. With the natural styles, they still tend not to afro the hair as much. They do more styling with it, the twists and the braids and all of that. Angela Davis, that's her name. I thought she had the prettiest afro, Misty. Yes. Okay. Full ball around your neck. Fur ball around your neck. I'm trying to think. Do I remember a fur ball around the neck? I don't know, Nap Tiger. That might have been one I missed being off in college. I remember we poor college children. We ain't got no money for all that. We got to buy books and we got to try to have clothes to go to school and we got to go over to the laundromat and wash and all that. So we missed out on a lot of that stuff. I remember the weed give me the munchies. Baby, I was there in 72. And that first year there, it wasn't too bad. But the next year, we had an influx of Black guys who came in because they recruited them to play basketball and football. Y'all may know this guy. I think he passed away a few years back. But he played with the San Francisco 49ers. His name was Fred Dean. We went to college together. Rest in peace, Fred. But I'm finna tell this story. Fred was so illiterate. He had a wife while we were in college. He had made him a couple of babies. And when Fred got drafted, Fred went out and bought him a Mark V. Fred bought him a motorcycle. Fred bought him a big old long trailer. They didn't have the trailers made like houses back then. It was a big old long one. I think 3 or 4 bedrooms in there. Bought him some land and put it out there, and Fred was partying every night. Okay, the story goes, we're in class together, and Fred used to copy off my paper all the time. Fred copied my name and put it on his paper. That's how much he was copying. And the teacher called me and him up there after class and said, when he was looking over the papers, he found 2 Vietta Browns. That was my maiden name. And I'm looking like, I ain't going to the dean. I ain't going home. This my paper right here. Now, I don't know whose paper that is over there, but this one here is mine, and this is my handwriting, and you can check it against the other papers. I walked on up out of there. They ain't been more put Fred out of school. They needed Fred to play the football, and that's what Fred did. And he was up there with them a long time, too. I don't know, probably about 12 years before he came back to, he was from Ruston, Louisiana. Yep, but that Fred was something else. Saying I'm black and I'm proud and throwing them fist signs. Yeah. In the 70s, I was 24. I was wild as a buck deer. I can't remember what I was. That's nap time to stroll off in here talking about she was so wild. She don't remember none of this craziness. Hold on. I'm still blowing, y'all. These allergies ain't cleared up all the way yet. And I done had the shot. And I take my pill every morning. And it ain't working. I might have to go again. They say this is the worst allergy season ever. We didn't have no winter down here. Okay. I love it, Nap Town. White girl tennis. Yes. I got 2 pair of them in there now. I love them tennis. Samantha, how you doing? Welcome to Chatting with Ms.V. Roller skating. Every time you turned around at the roller skating rink. I never was good at that roller skating. Disco skating was in the 70s. Yes, Thomas. When you look at American Bandstand and Soul Train, they did a lot of skating, dancing on the show. Hey, Candy. Miss V gave the baby doll a Mr. T haircut. I sure did. Down to the quick. And them baby dolls went through hell with me. I dress them up too and have them looking so pretty. Put a towel around their neck and give them a hairstyle. I never had an afro either, Keisha. My hair, you know how my hair is. It wouldn't fro. I tried though. I had a picture that I found, my first picture at Amico, my badge. I'm gonna have to find it and show y'all what I wore as an afro. It was curly, and what I would do, I braid it up real tight at night, and then I pick it out and I pat it down and put a scarf over it so it'll be even, and it looked like a curly fro. I just saw that picture the other day when I was cleaning up. I thought that was it. I'm gonna find it though, y'all, and show y'all that picture. Uh-huh. I was cleaning out the drawer and I looked at it and I saw Amico Chemical Lab on there. Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Yes, and it was a song. James Brown came out with the song. Say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Yeah. Uh I dyed my blonde too, Ms.V. Yep, the blonde was in, baby. We had gotten liberated. We did what we wanted to do in the 70s. Yeah, I think it was a thing that went around your neck and it had a fur ball on each side. Okay. I don't remember that one. That one got past me. Sing say, what's his name? Fred the Refrigerator Perry? No, Fred Dean. A tall, real dark-skinned guy, not very attractive at all. He had a big afro when we were in college, and he had an old LTD Ford, and he had that thing souped up in the back with the mufflers on there. And you could hear Fred coming all the way down the road when ooh, that boy was something else. I can't even describe it. I ain't gonna talk about him because he resting in peace now, but baby, he was something else. And when he got that little change, he really came out. He was doing it all, partying every night. We went from the liquor in the bathtub to he went out and bought machines and stuff to make the liquor and pour it in there. You had a fountain liquor and all that stuff. Money changed it, baby. Fred had a good old time. Yes, he did. That wife came over there one night and we were all standing out on the steps. We were sophomores. And she was hiding in the bushes and he was talking to one of my friends. And I didn't see her, but one of the other girls said, get inside. She in the bushes. And I'm like, who in the bushes? Forget who in the bushes. I'm getting inside. And I'm dragging my girlfriend in with me. Baby, she came out that bush with that night with a knife. And I'm saying, thank you, Jesus. But we had some good times back there in those 70s too. We used to go in the kitchen, be hungry, and the white girls would be baking cookies and doing popcorn and all that stuff. We wait till they go back in the room, and the kitchen was in the middle of the dormitory. Baby, we go in there and steal all their cookies. Soon as they got ready, we take them out and run in the room and lock the door like they could smell the cookies in there. Here come that lady knocking on the door, the house mother. Did y'all steal those cookies out of there? Me. I'm always innocent. I'm looking down. What's she talking about? What cookies? I got the cookies and then wrapped them in a towel and threw them in the closet and put some dirty clothes on. Nobody never thought I did nothing, and I was the instigator of it all. I was the one who always figured out how we was going to get out of this mess. They do it, and I figure out. One night they took the water hose and they ran the water hose. They ain't like the dorm mother. So they ran the water hose through the window, and when she woke up, baby, she stepped out in that water. Here she comes, straight to my door. I'm under the cover with with a blanket over my head, fully dressed. Many times they could have sent me home because I was right in the midst of the crowd, and I never was the one who actually did it, but I knew about it and I was a part of it, okay? Candy, corn, and peanuts. Yep. Candy is laughing. Yeah, he copied my name, the whole name, Vietta Carol Brown. I can't with no friend. Candy Jones, now that is beyond illiterate. Yes, he did that. We were in a science class, a biology class. He ain't had no business off in there no way. Fred knows it damn well. He took Shakespearean English with me. He took a biology class with me. And I think an algebra class. Copied it every class. And then if I'm sitting there writing, he had a nerve to pull my shoulder and push me back and pull my get up and go throw something in the trash can and take my whole paper. Those were the days, my friend. Yes, Keisha, those were kids. That's what I got in there. I got two pair of them. I got a white pair and a blue pair. Uh-oh, I done did it again. Let me get that off of there. Miss Jackie is laughing. You remember the pink champagne? Yep, I remember that too. Chocolate covered peanuts. Y'all are into these 70s, baby. I have an ice skating rink and a roller skating rink, both right outside my house, both less than a half a mile. Do you skate, Keisha? I never could get the gist of that. I was always too scared of falling. I'd go out there and skate if somebody was on the left and the right of me, but I'm going out there by myself. And them girls was out there just dancing and skating and going on. I didn't get the hang of that. I had the biggest afro and teardrop glasses. Oh, wow. I could see you looking gangster, Sting. I had an afro in the 6th grade and hated it. Oh, you didn't want it. Girl, that was a thing back then. I wish mine would fro. All of my friends had a beautiful fro. And I had a first cousin who was a sandy head. And she had a big sandy, blonde looking afro, green eyes. But it was so pretty. But mine never would act right. And then it start flopping if it get a little damp in it. Ugh. I always had long hair. I might cut it now that I'm older. It you got to really make up your mind, Keisha, when you deciding you're gonna cut it, because it's gonna take a little while to grow back. Yeah, but I bet it will be pretty. I started cutting mine at 40. Keisha, I just saw your comment. Okay, black uh Mary Jane shoes. Yes, and those shoes like the cheerleaders wore. Them black and white shoes came in the 70s too. Mm-hmm. Y'all laughing at Candy Jones. I used to love those Mary Jane shoes. Okay. Peanuts in the Pepsi. Yes, Sting. Sure did. That would be so good too. I don't know why, but that was really good eating. The T what? Oh, the GTO girls taking over. And that was a car back then called a GTO too. I think it was by Pontiac. Mm-hmm. I remember my first pair of heels called Mary Jane. I had my first pair was a little stack heel, but so high. And the shoes was orange and yellow, y'all. I can remember that. Uh you loved kids. I did. Donovan Thomas. Good night, Miss Beautiful. How are you? I'm just watching you talking good night. Okay, good night to you, Donovan. I used to ice skate more than roller skate. Oh, okay. So is it easier to roller skate or ice skate? Most people say it's easier to ice skate. Seem like it would be easy because you got two in the front and two in the back, which made four where you got that little blade on that ice skate. That looked like that'll be a little harder. I have to see if I can find that picture, Miss V. Do it, Sting. Okay. And I'm going to find mine with the little afro I had. Okay. Hey, Tammy. Stop by to say hello and blessings to you. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. Hey, JP, how you doing? So, do y'all remember any music from the 70s? Let me see if I can find where I wrote down the music. Oh, let's talk about food while we're here. The quiche was the big thing in the 70s. I ain't never liked it. The Getty Images, I don't know what that is. The Von Scople. Any of y'all know what any of this food is? Hamburger helper. Now, I know about that. We never did have that at our house. Thank God. Fondues. House parties, of course. Pasta Primavera. I like that. Most of the 70s were one meal deals because the mother had gotten up and got outside the home and gone to work then. Ain't no stopping us now. It's that 70s and 80s, okay? Slow dancing. Yeah, now, Tiger. Fajitas. Mexicans had come in here in Texas especially and started doing the Tex-Mex thing. Neck bones. Hamburger helper macaroni is good, says Keisha. Okay. I never really had too much of that. Like my mama cooked from scratch. So we didn't have too much box food. Black Forest tart. Watergate salad. Of course, that came from Nixon, leaving the White House. You remember some of the food? Okay. Jello salads, cheese balls and logs, and the carrot cake. That's all the 70s. Okay. Let's see if I missed any comments. All right. And then the pineapple became a big thing in the 70s. That's when they started putting pineapple on everything, including the pizza. You don't remember any of that food, Keisha? I remember the hamburger helper in that box, but never did it. Um, the Watergate salad, I remember that, and I still like it today. I ain't big on Jello. The cheese balls came in, and they got the nuts on the outside of them. They would garnish them and all that stuff, or they'd make them in a log, put nuts on the outside of them. And the carrot cake. I like the carrot cake. You like the Waldorf salad and the coconut cake. Okay. All right. And I never was big on them pineapples on pizzas and stuff, but the pineapple came to the scene and it was in everything. There was a few TV shows that went on back then. Now, I know y'all remember Good Times. Y'all remember Archie and Edith Bunker, the Mary Tyler Moe Show, and All in the Family, and that other show, Welcome Back Carter, Gomer Pyle. All those were 70 shows. Okay. Sanford and Son, yes, Jackie. Devil Eggs were in the 70s, yes, thing. Big time. Every time you had a little event, a little party, or whatever, it was going to be some devil eggs coming across. Columbo, I hated that show. With old trench coat on and nosy ass was always in somebody's business. I ain't like him. Every time he came on, you had to go. I'm still watching the westerns back then. I like Marshall Dillon. I like Paladin. I like Wagon Train. I liked all them shows back then. You remember the 70s shows? My mom made something with ground beef, macaroni and cheese with cream, a mushroom, and something else, but it was good. That's something like what the hamburger helper is in the box, but hers was probably better because she added more seasoning and probably put, some bell pepper, onion, or whatever in there and gave it more flavor. Because that hamburger helper can get a little bit tasteless if you don't doctor it up. Everybody had one pair of hoop earrings. Yep. Miss Jackie, I'm so sorry. Did not see you in my chat when I went back and I looked. I see you show. Okay, that's JP. Do you remember the pudding came in a tin can back then? I ain't never been no fan of no pudding. We didn't have too much pudding in our house. We had cakes and pies and stuff like that. And my mom made pecan candy. I don't never remember having no pudding. What you saying, Tammy? I took a long break from social media. Glad you got back then, Tammy. Welcome back. Welcome back. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, Tammy. If it get to be too much for you, I try to keep things light and airy and fun over here where people can get into the chat. We try to stay away from talking about people. I don't really watch social media anymore, so I don't know a whole lot's going on out there, and that way I don't get involved in it. I'll be over here doing my thing. My mother, wait a minute, wasn't a cook, but my grandmother threw down. I learned from my grandmother. Good, Keisha. Okay. Kool-Aid. Yep, everybody had Kool-Aid. And I still like Kool-Aid today. I have a brother-in-law in Birmingham. Every time he comes home, he either bring his Kool-Aid with him or he got to go out and buy his Kool-Aid. Yep, and he make it, and it's so good when he does. He got the right amount of sugar in there, and he puts lemon in his, and it's got the best taste to it. And he got his own little favorite brands. The frozen cups, yep. Getting ready for bed, but one more thing, the dark shadow. Oh, so you watching the stories. Okay. Let's see, Kool-Aid comes in a 20-ounce bottle now. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I'm still buying the little packs that I make myself whenever I make it. They had record players in the 70s. Yes, Thomas. The transistor radio, had come into play. The color TV is here. And now we have record players. And then we started getting them instead of just having the ones that was just a little portable kind. I had one in my room that I could roll around. But then they started making them into furniture, pieces of furniture back then. The 8-track was in the car already, and now we're coming into the cassette player in the cars. The 8-tracks going out, the cassette is coming in. Okay. Grape tropical punch and strawberry kiwi. Yes, Keisha, I like that. Boom boxes. Yeah, Knob Tiger. You love Dark Shadows. I never watched it. I don't know nothing about it. All right, so we got our little TV shows, Happy Days with Fonzie, Little House on the Prairie with Lil Joe. I thought he should have stayed with Bonanza. I never did get into the Little House on the Prairie stuff. All right, so let's see what else we got going on. Music. Me and Mrs. Jones, Billy Paul, 1972. Let's Stay Together, Al Green, 1972. I wished I could just play a snippet of the music as I'm talking about it. YouTube ain't right. They get on my nerves. If you don't know me by now, with Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. Midnight Train to Georgia with Gladys Knight and the Pips. What's going on? Says Marvin Gaye in 1971. Let's Get It On by Marvin Gaye, 1973. I'll Be Around, The Spinners, 1973. Okay. Barnabas Collins from Dark Shadows. Oh, I don't know nothing about them. Y'all got to talk about them. That lady. Who's that lady? The Isley Brothers. They did a part 1 and a part 2 of that song. Shining Star, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Y'all remember any of these songs? Y'all should have been dancing y'all's butts off on these songs. Slow dragging on some, two-stepping on another. Everybody Plays the Fool, Main Ingredient, 1972. Had a lot of artists and a lot of music in the 70s. Show and Tell, Al Wilson, 1973. Mr. Big Stuff. Keisha said, I remember. Jackie said, I remember. Okay. Ooh, ooh, baby. Ooh, ooh, child. 5 Star Steps. That was the first one that came out in 1970. Isn't She Lovely? Stevie Wonder did a lot of music in the 70s. He did that in 1976. I love this one, Wildflower by New Birth in 1973. I used to play this song over and over and over. I'll Take You There, the Staple Singers in 1972. We had Distant Lover by Marvin Gaye in 1973. The theme song from Shaft. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Brittany, how you doing? We in the 70s tonight. We talking about some music over here. You know anything about this music? Carla say Natural High. I partied hard on them songs, Jules says. Okay, so I'm giving you some songs to play over there from the 70s tonight, Jules. Distant Lover, Marvin Gaye, 1973. Get Up, says James Brown in 1970. Theme from Chef, that is Isaac Hayes, 1971. Ain't No Sunshine When It's Gone by Bill Withers, 1971. I was a student at Louisiana Tech, and my freshman year, Bill Withers came to the auditorium, and we were dancing like, it was a real concert. And the white folks was in there, and they didn't know what they was listening to. They didn't know, they was just in there because it was somewhere to go. Black folks was tearing it up. Yeah, my mom loved the Doobie Brothers. Yes, indeed. Okay, let's see. The First, Last, Everything. Barry White. I loved his baritone voice. I partied hard on them songs, says Jewel. Let's see. I'm Off Finally. I remember all those songs. I still listen to them. That was music back then. Those people were really getting together, and they were really, they were concerters too. Look how they were dressed, all in the same color suits, and they had practice their music to go along with their songs. I remember all the songs. Wildflower was my favorite. Okay, Naptown, we were together on that one. I was not born then, but I love all those singers. Yep, you probably listened to them because your mom was listening to them after the fact. The Bee Gees, let's see, Luther Vandross and the Isley Brothers. Hey, Lois, how you doing? Come on in, jump in. Caravan of Love, says Thomas. Grease soundtrack was in the 70s. Yes, Keisha. Okay, let me give y'all a few more. Superstition by Stevie Wonder, 1972. Stillwater, Fort Tops, 1970. Love Train, OJ's, 1972. The Rubber Band Man, The Spinners, in 1976. Am I bringing back any memories? Are y'all thinking about where y'all were and what y'all were doing at this time? Family Affair, Sly and the Family Stone. We Are Family, Sister Sledge, 1979, at the end of the era. Easy Like a Sunday Morning, Lionel Richie. Close the Door, Teddy Pendergrass, 1978. He broke my heart. I thought he was a woman's man. I was done when I found out different. Always and Forever, Heat Wave, 1976. Strawberry Letter 23, The Brothers Johnson, 1977. Let's see. What you say, Valencia? Okay, I got you. All right, I think I got everybody. I Can't Stand the Rain and Peoples, 1974. And Wish Upon a Star, Rolls Royce, in 1977. So those were some of the biggest hit records. Keisha saying Reunited. They put out a lot of music in 1972, and I remember it all because I played music a lot in the dormitory in my pastime. You loved them all. I did too, and I still play them today. I love that music from the 70s. I know what I was doing. I met my husband in 1976. 1976, I was just graduating with the first degree or the second degree. First degree, because the second degree I didn't get it over till 78. So most of the 70s I was in school. Ring that bell. You can ring that bell. Yeah. The escorts look over your shoulders. Okay, Sandra, the Candy Man. All right. Okay. So this pretty much sums up what I had for the 70s, unless y'all adding some more to it. We talked about the clothing, how it has changed. A lot of music came about. We had hard times because of political changes and the president losing office and economic warfare going on. But through it all, we got through it. And I think the reason why we got through the 70s so well is because of the music y'all putting in the chat right now. Bobby Bland and B.B. King. My mom loves herself some B.B. King and Ray Charles. I was dancing in them times. Yes, Jackie Johnson. I think we was all hitting the floor on that. And we would stay out there 2 and 3 songs at a time. And there was some long songs back then. 3 to 5 minute songs. That's a long time when you're up there dancing. And that's probably why we stayed so fit. Excellent topic. Very educational, informative. Thank you, Miss. I appreciate that. Well, that's about it for me tonight on the 70s. So far we talked about the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. Tomorrow night we're going to bring it on into the 80s. Ohio players. Yes, ma'am. Tomorrow is the 80s, Keisha. And we all pretty much up some size by the time the 80s hit. A lot of us are grown. A lot of us are married. A lot of us have left home now. So these are going to be some really different times from any other time we've talked about out here. So we're getting into our era where we just came from 10, 20, 30 years ago now. Okay? I didn't graduate till 91. Okay, Keisha. You're welcome, Misty. I appreciate all of y'all coming into the chat tonight. And we've gotten through the 70s era. We'll hit the 80s era tomorrow. And we'll see how the music changed in the 80s also, because I think some rapping gonna come along in the 80s. Uh-huh. You enjoyed the live, Keisha? Thank you. I enjoyed putting the commentary together, and I really love y'all interacted into the conversation. It makes it flow so much easier for me. Y'all have fun. Enjoy your night. I'll see y'all tomorrow night. I'm going to go get me something to eat. Much love to you. Hit the like button on the way out. Like, share, and subscribe. Remember, the gift is going to be the gift given away for the 5K will be on Saturday night. Love you much. Heck, Ms.V, there were tons of musical groups in the 70s. You better believe it, Carol Anna. I just named a few, but it's probably 4 times that many. Blessings to you as well. Y'all have a good night. Love you much. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.